Hello, welcome to Web App Wednesday, the long promised, long overdue Wednesday stream. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I think everything should be working again. I've been hearing notifications, so unlike yesterday's stream, I don't think there's any issues with the actual audio, which is good. Let's start Stream Raiders up. Where were we? Let's go here. There we go. Okay, thank you, Pacemaker. Appreciate it. It was very nice to have. So, for this stream, let me switch to my screen. Hopefully it's the correct one. Yay. So, we've done Portswigger on the stream before. I can't remember the last time we did it. I think maybe it was last year, like late last year. At the time, what we did was we usually just selected a subject or a couple of subjects and we did a few labs. However, a couple of weeks ago they released this Mystery Lab Challenge. The idea is, obviously if you go into one of these labs, you get given a... well, let me just open this one for instance. You get given instructions on what to do. And you have to go do it. So you know what you're looking for, right? If you go into an SQL injection lab, pretty sure there's going to be SQL injection. With this one, however, you can still say, oh, I want to do cross-site scripting, right? But if you click challenge me, it will literally put you in a random lab with absolutely no instructions. And you have to figure out what you need to do. There is a hint you can use. It's hidden by default, but if you click it, it tells you what the actual final objective is. So it might be submit the host name of the box or something. But it won't tell you how, so it won't tell you which vulnerability you're exploiting. And then if you are completely stuck, you can actually reveal the lab you're in. So I figured we will do that today. We will leave it in apprentice level, just because if you've ever done Web Academy, if you thought that Hack the Box easies were not easy, then Web Security Academy Apprentice it's another level. Like I can do all the apprentice ones, but I've been doing web app pen testing for years. I can, with enough actual effort, if I put in, I could probably grab all the practitioner ones. I've got 96 out of 130. The most common reason I haven't got all of them is just because of time. Honestly, a lot of them take a while. Expert is insane though. Which is why I've only got 3 of 30 in Expert. And a lot of the time it's not necessarily because the actual exploit is too complicated, it's the fact that what they're asking you to actually get. So the actual end goal is just kind of insane, and a lot of the time it involves quite a few hours of work just to get the actual thing. So we're going to leave it apprentice because I've literally never used this before. Well, I lie. Okay, I clicked once on it, and it was like an XSS lab, and I got that fine. I've never done this on stream before, and I figure most of my viewers have probably want some actual success in this. If I was to change this to practitioner, my imagining is we'd get something that's so complicated it's going to take a few hours just to solve, which is going to be boring. I tell you what, we'll do a few apprentice levels maybe, and then maybe we'll try a practitioner level. But if you see, if at apprentice level, you can do all of these. So you might get access control, vulnerabilities, cause exploits, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, deserialization, directory traversal, file upload, host header attacks, information disclosure, business logic vulnerabilities, SSRF, authentication issues, and XXE, our old friend. I'm going to put it to any so we actually have some randomness. I have Burp Suite Pro opened up, so that should be good. Yeah, so let's... If I open it in a new tab, is that going to mess me up? XXE isn't a real web vulnerability. I mean, it's not according to Feet Feud. Alright, so here you go. See, mystery challenge. We have to submit a solution, which this tells you some information. It tells you that it's not going to get triggered automatically. Right, so some of the labs get solved if you log in as a specific user. In this case, oh, hang on, may not be required. That makes sense. Alright, so we might not even have to submit the solution here. There's the reveal objective button, which we're not going to use, unless we get completely stuck. So, let's take a look at the source code. And I'm going to line wrap it and zoom in. So, we can pretty much ignore from here down to here. This section is just this sort of header here. So it's generally not related to the task. This is just, all this JavaScript is doing is checking whether you've actually done the conditions, pretty much. So we can look down here. We have a search functionality, which is useful. That might be XSS, it might be SQL. Actually, it can't be SQL injection. I have a list actually over here of the things it can be. So it can't be SQL injection. Okay. So it's just a list of the blog posts. And there's no login, so it can't be authentication. Let's just try something. Let's just try do test. Okay. So test gets reflected back in the HTML here. So can we? Oops. So this is from. Problem is I have like the answers stored in the settings. Clear. Don't want cookies. Autofill form data. There we go. We'll clear all that. Then we shouldn't get surprises. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so it's not gonna be XSS, right? Because it's getting filtered here. It's also getting filtered here. Although, actually, it may... We didn't do a complete check. Let's do a complete check. So we need to put double quote, apostrophe, and I'll just put an A at the end. And we'll view the page source again. Ah, nope, okay, I was wrong. So we are able to do some XSS here, it looks like. You see, we are injecting into this value attribute, and my quotation mark here did not get escaped, did not get encoded. So which means we can do something like on mouse over maybe equals alert 1. Actually I can do equals alert 1 like that. There we go. And the lab is solved. So yeah, this was an XSS lab, clearly. And the reason this works, you see, we injected into this value, we broke out the value attribute, we put our on mouse over, and we set it to alert 1. And this, technically this quotation mark here, is the one that's supposed to go at the end of the value. So we kind of broke back in. We made the code nice and neat. On mouse over is just a special JavaScript attribute. Well, technically an HTML attribute, but it's only used by JavaScript. If you mouse over the thing it's on, it executes the code you tell it to. So yeah. For inputs, you can also do it, so I'll show you another way of doing it. This only works with inputs where, I should say, I'll show you how to do it and then I'll use the clarification. I'll do the clarification after. So if we escape out, do on focus equals alert 1, autofocus equals 1. And then search, and we instantly get a pop-up. Alright, and in fact, it won't stop popping up. So if I go back to burp, so if we see what happens here, yeah, here we go. So now we have this on focus equals alert 1 again. Autofocus equals 1. On focus is another special attribute. It means when the input box has focus, it will execute this. What does focus mean? Generally speaking, any element on the page has focus when it is clicked on, at least. In the sense of input boxes especially, if you tab into it or if you have your cursor in the actual input box, that is considered focus. So obviously, if I were to remove this autofocus, you'll probably see what it actually does. So if I do that, okay. So now we've solved it twice. Good. So now this text box doesn't have focus, right? And if I hover over it, it still doesn't have focus. But if I click in it, it should... Why didn't it work? Oh, it's the placeholder. No, what? There we go. So I didn't click hard enough, I guess. So if you now my cursor is in there, you can see it right there. Now it's focused, so it's just going to keep executing this JavaScript. You should also, if I click, say, there and then tab, if I tab enough times, maybe there we go. So we're here, we're just tabbing through. There we go. All right, so I was tabbed onto the home link, and when I tabbed again, even though you can't see my cursor here, we are technically in this input box, which means it's going to execute the JavaScript again. So the on focus does what you'd think it should do. If you stick, the autofocus. If you stick autofocus equals, and then pretty much give it, I think you can use any value, honestly. Yeah. Any value, as long as autofocus, the attribute is in the actual HTML, the browser will automatically focus on that element. The caveat is you're by the standard, you're only allowed to use autofocus in one element on the page at a time. So if there is already some element above the one you're injecting into which has an autofocus, your autofocus won't work. Okay. Any questions on that while I check on chat? Will you do sometime in the future a stream on the CSRF labs on here? Just the basic stuff. Yeah, we can do some CSRF. There actually might be labs that we get using this randomizer. However, to be honest, like CSRF is dying. It's on its way out thanks to the same site attribute, which has been released I think 3 years ago. But more and more web apps are starting to use it. So it's now incredibly easy to mitigate cross-site request forgery. All right, let's see what the objective was. Oh, I guess we can't. All right, let's do another one. How does the browser know where your mouse is? I mean, the browser is a computer program. Computer programs know where your mouse is. That's just how GUIs work. So, yeah. If you were just to code a regular, I mean, you could code a Python script to figure out where your mouse is. It's not exactly difficult. The operating system will have an API which you can query, and it will tell you where your mouse is. So yeah, that's how the browser knows. And obviously, the browser knows where everything is on the page as well, so it knows when the cursor intersects your element. Okay, so this time we have a login. Do we have anything? I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, so there's nothing down here. Sometimes there's JavaScript code down here that is interesting. Now I imagine, yes, in some of the labs you have access to your own account with the credentials Wiener Pizza. So this is probably Wiener Pizza. Okay. So there's a link. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the ID is in the URL here. So we can try and get to Carlos. It did not work. What about administrator? So Carlos is generally another user that you can get to. Let's just try that. Okay, let's. So just submit my email. Let's actually check the request. So I'm wondering, actually, let me increase the font size here for you guys. We'll go up to 16 and the same here. So there is a CSRF token. Let's see if we can change it without a CSRF token. So I'm just gonna, well, actually, firstly, I'm just gonna delete the token value itself. We'll do csrf@peter.com. Missing parameter. Okay. What happens if we just delete that? Missing parameter. Okay. So it's probably not Cross-site request forgery. Let's log in again. See if there's any functionality back on the home page now that we're logged in. Doesn't look like it. Can look at the session. Hang on. Oops. See if this is... Doesn't look like it's anything. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. What have we missed here? So, again, this stuff is usually just the header, so we can just ignore that. Time for active scan, yeah. Okay, so what have we got? We've got access control, which we pretty much attempted by going to an account with a different ID. So usually there's... Wiener is your usual account. Carlos is, generally speaking, the other account that you can get to. But it looks like in this case, if you try to access Carlos's account, you get redirected to login. Isn't that an IDOR? Yes, and IDOR and access control are extremely... I mean, IDOR is a type of access control. That's access control by a vulnerability. So there's generally speaking two types of access control issues. There's BAC, BAC, or broken access control, and IDOR. You could argue that IDOR is technically also broken access control, and this is why there are no real actual standards on anything these days. So the main difference between IDOR and what everyone else terms broken access control is, with broken access control, it's generally speaking accessing functionality that your user should not have permission to access. A good example would be a regular user being able to access the admin page, right? Like an admin control panel. That would be broken access control. That wouldn't be IDOR. IDOR, generally speaking, is more like horizontal privilege escalation. So you would have two users at the same level, and they both have a resource. So let's say user A can access resource A and user B can access resource B. And the way they access it is via a URL which states like resource equals A, right? And that loads their resource. However, if user B goes to the resource equals A URL and can load resource A, even though they're not supposed to access it, that would be insecure direct object reference, IDOR. But the easiest way to think of it is horizontal versus vertical. Horizontal privilege escalation in web apps is generally IDOR. That's all it is. Vertical privilege escalation is broken access control, BAC. There are other terms for it. For instance, Google missing function level access control was how OWASP had it years ago. So this is vertical privilege escalation. This is what most people call broken access control these days. So function level effectively means, there's an admin function that users can access, right? Missing access control meaning there's no check that users could access that. But yeah, it is very confusing. But generally speaking, broken access control, you can just cover everything. However, in a report, I generally use vertical and horizontal privilege escalation, or more generally, I'll use vertical privilege escalation for a finding, and then I'll use IDOR for the horizontal, just to make it more confusing. But only because I like IDOR. I think IDOR gets ignored too often. All right, let's see. What have we got here? Okay, so what happens if we just let's just try something? Invalid product ID. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. Could try SQLI. Well, we couldn't because SQLI is actually not in this category. All right, we're in the apprentice level. SQL injection is blurred out, so it can only be one of these. We've checked, and we don't think it's cross-site request forgery. I don't think it's access control, only because there only seems to be one thing related to access control, which is this ID parameter. The update email form doesn't use any, it just uses the session. If we go back to, where is it? The change email, it has a session parameter, and it just has an email parameter and the CSRF token. So there's nothing in here that, I lie actually. We might be able to change the referrer. This is a long shot, but if they're taking the user from the referrer, can we just change this to Carlos? We got another session here. Was that the session we had before? Okay. Let's just switch that session. So I'm going to go into the application menu and I'm going to switch out this. And why did that not work? Can I refresh this now? Alright, I'm gonna intercept the request then. Gonna refresh, I'm gonna put this in here, forward it. No. So I don't think that did anything. Just to make sure though, I'm going to... Right, no. So I don't think that did anything either. A CSRF lab would have helped a lot, huh? Well, like I said, I don't think it's CSRF. Let me see the source code here, just in case we're missing something. Which I don't think we are. I guess we could do... robots.txt isn't found. Is there some like an admin? Okay. Admin interface only available to local. We are on track. So this is going to be... This has got to be host header, right? This has got to be repeater changing the host header to localhost, maybe? That is forbidden. Can we do then... Can we do X forwarded for localhost? Ambient interface only available to local users. All right, we'll do Streamlabs, not Streamlabs, Stream Raiders. Sorry. Switch across to it. I'm literally alone on the battlefield with Yapara-san, so you guys need to step up. Because we're getting destroyed right now. Well, there we go. Alright, more people. I'm gonna use my bomber. Where are we? There we go. Thank you. Thank you for logging in. Because we totally lost, I'm not even going to do a marble game now. Alright, give me a sec. Admin interface only available to local users. So we could try... there are a few other ways. Localhost didn't work. So there is actually a... There's an extension. Which I think is actually WAF, but the WAF bypass. Tell them collaborate everywhere and swap to, yeah. That would definitely work. Although I think... I'm trying to remember the extension. There's an extension that does it all for you. Bypass WAF, that's the one. So bypass WAF will just add all these. So we'll do that. Yep. Set configuration. And then if we get a repeater... Did it actually do it though? Let's go to the logger. Doesn't look like it. Was there something else we needed to do? Session handling rule, right, okay. This seems like a lot of effort. We could just copy this, to be honest with you. Alright, I'm gonna uninstall that. So let's just put these down here. Still unauthorized. I wonder if we have to take the cookie out. We could do a referral. Will the Portswigger lab crash if you use auto recon and mmap scan for open ports? I don't think it will crash. It'll probably get blocked. Also, I don't think auto recon really won't help you in these labs. Auto recon is good for enumerating stuff on a network level. This is more in-depth web app penetration testing. I'm gonna try. Maybe just we need 127001. I guess what we can do to refresh. I'm sure it's a host header attack. X forwarded host. There we go. This might be how we do it. I need to set this back to this. No. Unless I just have to take all this out. Hang on. Try this one. What we can do, we can use an extension. So this, what we can do, we can use param miner, which you are allowed to use in the lab. Let's guess headers. Yeah. So what param miner does, if we go across to the logger, it's going to do this. So it's going to insert I mean, this is just it figuring out how many headers it can realistically add. Now it's doing this, right? So it's doing these headers with this random value, and if it finds a change in the response, it's going to flag that as a header that you're probably interested in. So we want to go to this one, 0040. This one. Okay, so effectively this should pop up here if we find anything. So yeah, we'll let that run. Whenever you have a chance, can you do a rundown of the burp extensions you have? Jeez. This isn't even the one. This isn't even like all the ones I use at work. Some of them are pretty easy to understand. I mean, that one that just removes my name from up here. Well, I wrote myself for streaming. PHP object injection check. I mean, it checks whether you can inject PHP objects. Tabulator is this one over here. It's, where is it there? It just allows you to use Burp Collaborator in a tab, which is instead of opening up this thing, which is really useful. Hackverter is just a really cool extension for doing a lot of conversions. Deserialization bug finder. A lot of these, by the way, will only activate if you run a scan, which we're not doing yet. So deserialization bug finder, it has a heck of a lot of payloads for finding deserialization. So does this one. Hunt scanner is interesting. This one will literally just flag interesting things. So for instance, in this change email, it flagged the email parameter for an IDOR, which technically it wasn't. That's a false positive. But either way. For this though, the my account one, ID, it flagged for IDOR, SQL injection, and server-side template injection. It doesn't actually, like, it just reports interesting things. It hasn't actually found anything. It's just reporting, oh, you might want to look into that. Active scan just adds more checks, so does /powered scanner. Reflected parameters just tells you, where is it? I can't even see it now. I think it might actually tell you in here what stuff is reflected. It looks like we actually found some stuff though. The origin. Okay, so maybe it was origin then. No. Unless it was... Yeah, it wasn't that. Did parameter finish? It did not. Authmatrix is a really cool but really complicated extension for testing authorization issues. HTTP request smuggler tests for request smuggling. Auto-repeater is kind of just useful for automatically repeating things based on other requests. Collaborator Everywhere does it tries to exploit backend stuff that may use like subdomains that you've sent in a request. It's like to look up DNS. Command injection attacker literally just tests for command injection. CSP auditor tests for content security policy violations. This one tests for cross-site request forgery. Error message, so if there's ever an error message like stack traces, that will report it. Espresso flags all single sign-on, which is why SSO right at the end. So if you're using single sign-on, it'll flag it and it'll color it blue, I think, in the proxy. Web attacker, JSON web attacker will literally do common attacks on JSON web tokens, JWTs. I forget what this one does. I'm not entirely sure if I've installed. Don't even remember installing that. Potential vulnerability. Oh, actually, this is pretty cool. So yeah, it'll flag stuff that has specific strings in it. So like it'll flag XML and say, oh, you might want to test that for XXE. Where else? And then Turbo Intruder is just another version of Intruder that uses Python, and Authorize is another authorization extension. Let's see if there's anything else been found. I don't think there is. So let's go back. Oh, maybe sending duplicate host headers. Okay, let's try that. Oops. No. So yeah, like you said, there's so many things we could try here. Let's try doing a colon with localhost, I guess. That didn't work. Oh, we didn't actually try doing origin with an HTTPS. Let's try that. No. With HTTP? Doesn't look like it. Try null. Although, yeah. Supply an absolute URL. Okay. Let's try that. So what we do here is we change this to localhost, and then we do that. Doesn't look like it though. Will that work if we do that? It's definitely a tricky one then. Or I should say, not obvious. We tried X forwarded host, but maybe we have to put it in addition. Or these ones. Okay. So let's go back to this. Put the host back in here. X forwarded localhost. That's unauthorized. Oh, sorry. X forwarded host? Yeah, I did it right. X host. Unauthorized. X forwarded server. Still unauthorized. X HTTP host override. Still unauthorized, and then just forwarded. Whoops, this one. Try and automate it. Well, the thing is, we want to try and avoid automated tools. Bypassing authentication. It's annoying, it said this the origin header. But I actually don't think... Yeah, I don't think the origin header did anything. Let's see. This is definitely tricky. I mean, even if I click reveal objective, it's going to be something to do with the admin interface, I would guess. Let's delete the user Carlos. Right, so this is definitely trickier. Did the scan actually finish? Alright, so it's still technically scanning. Which means it may actually eventually find a header. But it's definitely strange not being able to... So website-based access control on the referrer header, so we did try that. The fact that it says only local users can access is suggesting to me that we do need to look like we're coming from localhost, which is where a referrer would come in. Let's localhost/admin. Oops. Still unauthorized. Are we still actually logged in? We are, okay. We've tried X-forwarded for. It's here and I think it's silly. Alright, if Homebrewer thinks it's silly, it's information disclosure. Alright. I trust Homebrew and he says it's silly. It's a custom. Does it use Paramliner? Oh, you use are you kidding me? Alright. So you use Trace, which really does not work. So Trace... Ah, boy. Trace is going to leak information. It was a sensitive information disclosure, I guess. Which means it's... Yeah, it's adding... With options... let's try it. No, options didn't do anything. Either way, Trace... Which generally does not leak anything like this. Yeah, this is not... I wouldn't call this... the apprentice level or whatever it is. Yeah. Alright. And again, like, if you were doing this for real, you would... your scanner would have figured this out way before us. So... Like I said, like, If you thought hack the box easy was easy, some of these apprentice level stuff is crazy. Let's try localhost and see if that does anything. It does not. Let's just try 127.0.0.1. There we go, and we get an OK. I haven't done the burp cert yet, no. So ask us to delete Carlos, which just means we highlight this. And we stick it there. Luckily, it's just a GET request. And we should have solved the lab, yay. Alright. Let's do another one. You failed it twice? Yeah. I've heard it's hard. Okay. I think I know this one. I think this is one of the business logic flaws, only because of the cart. Let's log in and see what we get. Right. So generally speaking, with these, we need to buy the leather jacket. Obviously, we cannot afford the leather jacket. But if we add Infea TS, thank you for the raid. So this might be an instance of adding the product so many times. Like if we add it 1,000,000 times. Oh, hang on. Can we add it 10,000 times, 100 times? What's the maximum we can add it? Is it 99? Try -0. Yeah, we could try that. Yeah, there's nothing. So I think what we have to do here is add 99 of them enough times that we get an integer overflow. Because a lot of these have something down here that gives you a coupon, but we don't have any coupons. So I think what we need to do is just go to intruder and we'll clear out everything. We'll go to payloads, we'll go to null payloads. Let's generate 100 and just, I guess, go. And then if we go to our cart, eventually this is going to overflow. It's going to take a while, because the integer overflow is what, 2 to the 32, which is 4 billion. And we are at... Has it stopped yet? Yeah. So we are at 14 million. So we need to at least go... Probably send 1,000 requests. Let's try that. Oh, we missed it. Okay. Alright, so it actually has an overflow of slightly less. So let's discard that. So... let's try and figure out what integer overflow it could have been. It can't have been 2 to the 16 though, because it got above. I got above 20 million. So let's. I tell you what, we'll do 100, and we'll see what happens. Let's just keep refreshing. So this is at 10 million. Okay, and all right, so we stopped there. So now let's just do. Let's just do it manually. Send another 99.
Mr. Streamer!
What just to go? What have I missed? Stream Raiders. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Okay, that's a bit better showing there. We've got a few more people. There we go. I'm sorry, Dallas. You just need to turn your volume down. All right. Okay, let's go back to this. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to just keep adding 99 and see. Probably makes sense to just, there we go. Well, I think we found the overflow. I just think we were. Ooh, okay. What was that? Cart is empty. How many did that cart have before? We had 16. So let's try adding 16,000. So if we want to add 16,000 divided by, divided by 99, we want to run this 161 times. 161 times, all right. We can try -2 in a little, yeah. Okay. So we've added, and we keep adding one. I feel like it was around here when it just completely went over. Now this number kind of looks like half of this one. So I'm thinking it might be an unsigned, a signed integer. So what's signed integer overflow? Gar7, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Welcome to Sapil87, Solox Dead, Ricard, and Berryduina, and White Cyberduck. White Cyberduck, I have a special button for you. There you go. I'm trying to find the values for signed integer overflows. Surprised that Wikipedia doesn't have it. But generally speaking, it's like half of these ones. So actually, it should just be 2 to the 31. What's 2 to the 31? Dallas1 gifting 2 subs. Welcome to Orbital Gun and Night of Dark 94. Can I please have your playlist? You sure can. It's the NCS releases playlist on Spotify. It's a copyright free playlist that gets updated fairly regularly. Thank you, Dallas. So see this number 2 to the 31. Compare it to. I'm just gonna paste it there. See 2 4. So what I think is happening is these digits here are being part of the number. So I think we're fairly close, right? Because we need to get to 21474. So the next one, and again. Right, okay. So that is it, which means I think if we can do it twice as many. So let's do another calculation. Divided by 1337. So if we can add 16,000, so 16,061 should take us below the limit. So what we'll do is we'll do 16,061 divided by 99, which is going to be 162. So we'll run this one 162 times now. If this doesn't end up being the way, I don't know. We'll try the -2 thing, I guess. But I feel like this is gonna have to. Well, no, actually it won't, because it overflows and then just disappears. Like that. Alright, we'll try the way, who suggested it? -2. No, it doesn't work. Does the email do anything? Can we just add a test coupon? Invalid coupon? No. This is... Alright, this one is definitely a little trickier than usual. The business logic ones, if I recall, are actually kind of hit and miss. There's some really fun ones, like an infinite money one, which I don't think this one has. Maybe if we do 0.1? It's valid parameter. Yeah. Oh, hang on, -100. Interesting. What does -10 do? Can we do -16,000? Or... Oh, wait a minute. I'm using the wrong... Hang on a minute. I need to use the wrong session. It's the wrong session cookie here. Cart is empty. What if you add another product and then jack it -2? Oh yeah, good idea. Okay, so we may... No. It may be that we can add Where's the closest one to 100? This one? Like, what happens if we add this one? We also add one of these. And then we overflow this one? Maybe? So... we get... we need to have this many, which means how many requests is this? 2,211 to add. Oh, hang on, wait. Whoa. Where did that come from? That price parameter. That's new. So where did that appear from? So maybe if we... So let's go to this one and add to cart. Where did the price thing appear from? That hasn't been there before. Okay, well now it's easy. We can just intercept, add to cart, and the price we will just put down to $1, which is 100, right? Okay, well we solved it. And now I really want to know, like, how. Reveal objective, come on. I don't like how this breaks when you've solved it. It's kind of annoying. But it looks like this is just base64 encoded links, so we can probably just take this value, base64 decode it, and get the lab link back. I don't think it could have happened after the overflow. There must have been something weird. Okay, solution. We had to attempt to buy it. Because that's so bizarre. Like back here, it didn't have that. Okay. Weird. We got there in the end. Hopefully this shows how kind of weird these are. Alright, let's do one more. Okay, so this one, again, there's no login. That's good. Is there... I'm just going to maximize this now. No code there. Okay. So if we go to the first blog post, this is probably going to be XSS, I'm guessing. So we'll just try some fields. Post comment. This needs an @ Alright, so this one probably won't be injectable, but we'll just do test.test.com. Okay, back to blog. Interesting. So we may be able to inject into the URL here. So if I do test, and then http:// let's just try that. Test 1, 2, 3, I guess. Back to blog. Nope. Let's see what's happening with the request itself. All the way down. Post comments. Oh, maybe it's. Wait a minute, that looks weird. Country object. Alright, that's something else. I'm not entirely sure. Let's try okay, so there's nothing in the link back. I want to see when those so something set our country cookie to an object. Invalid, yeah. Which means there must be some JavaScript code that I missed. Maybe. Ah, yep, here we go. Right. Okay, this is a... I can tell right now, this is going to be a cache thing. I think this is going to be web cache poisoning, which actually no, it can't be because web cache poisoning's not on there. Hey, Dockerberry. Okay. Let me just try something. Alright, this is definitely... It definitely has to use this. But I'm not entirely sure which vulnerability we're looking at. I would have usually said with this Xcache miss header, it would have been related to cache control. Sorry, web cache deception. But I guess what happens if we set no. Yeah, do you wanna explain that, Homebrewer? Dark Eldar, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Oh, this is weird. So let me explain what I've done. There is a script tag up here which contains this, which is obviously JavaScript code, which is setting a country cookie and a language cookie. And you can change the JavaScript here. You see this set country cookie. If I put a 2 on the end of this parameter in the URL, it sets it there. But I don't know how to exploit that. Because it doesn't look like it's required anywhere. And the country is set from here, this JSON object, and the language. Can I do like no? And there's no server there. So unless this is... They can't do... Yeah, it's not DOM-based vulnerability. Oh, hang on. Did we accidentally click... I think we're in practitioner. I'm pretty sure I accidentally... Right, okay, this is definitely, this is some advanced XSS stuff. Okay, right, we're gonna we're gonna exit out of that one. I don't know why I'm in practitioner. That would explain it. That probably was a DOM based. Like I said, you get to practitioner level, it goes insane. I bet that was it. Let me well, even setting a custom cookie, it wasn't oh shit, I need to quit param miner. It's still actually going on that old one from ages ago. So let's go back to the Academy launch. I bet it was a practitioner one. Alright, so what we'll do. We'll decode this URL and web cache, yeah, okay, it was web cache poisoning. That's why I was confused about it. Didn't I say it was web cache poisoning? But it's practitioner. And when I was selecting it in here, I knew web cache poisoning wasn't in apprentice level, which is why I was getting confused. So the solution to that one would have been likely finding a it would be manipulating the parameter in that what am I saying? Manipulating the parameter in the page and sending the request enough times that it gets stored in the web cache. So like, right, see, we found this. Control name of the function. Right, so yeah, use param miner. See this? See how complicated this gets at even practitioner level. We'll do a web cache poisoning demo at some point. Okay, let's do Stream Raiders. Probably for the last time. I don't even see where the enemies are. Okay. Stream Raiders. Oh, I just got completely killed. But to be fair, I was charging in there alone. At least we won. Alright. Well done, Dallas. Okay. Alright, we totally have another shop-based one now. So we'll log in. Alright, let's make sure we don't miss anything. Alright, add to cart. If this is the same one, it'll be kind of funny. I think it's the same one. Okay. I think this is the same one. Which means we must have just missed that last time. Yeah, okay. It's the same one. Right, we'll we'll re-roll. So I guess we must have... I don't know how I missed that the first time, though, because it wasn't in the other... requests, was it? Well, this might be it for the day if this is gonna... I wonder if the... We've done too many labs, that's why. Okay. Oh well. So let's do one round of marbles and see if this works at any point. So, okay, it worked. Let's do marbles anyway because I promised marbles now. Let's do this one. Go to marbles. So those of you who don't know, if you press, if you type !play, we can play marbles, enter laps. Okay, we're only going to do one lap. Maybe, okay, we'll do 2 laps. I don't know how long laps are. I'll give you a few more seconds to join. You don't have to actually control your marble, it's all random. It's just a little bit of fun. Okay, a few more seconds for everyone. All right. So here we go. Well, Lil DD is in the lead. Regis Philburn 666 just overtook. I think Little DD is back in first. How's everyone else? Oh, too many people behind. Oh, hang on. Dark Eldar. It's like Dark Eldar and Little DD are just are just switching out. I think this is the first lap. Well, yeah, at least I'm in second. Okay. There's something crazy happens. Oh, Dark Eldar just hit the side. Is that gonna do anything? I think you've won it, Dark Eldar. There we go. Okay, I'm a close second. Well done. That one was that definitely had less obstacles though. It was pure luck, I think. All right, let's do this one. Dark Eldar, gifting 5 subs for winning. Thank you so much, and welcome, Xe Squirmy, Yaparason, Hunterbot, Diplo Heisenberg, and XN0PX90. Are you good at CSRF? Yeah, I'm good at CSRF. Okay, what have we got here? Again, we have no login, which is nice. Oh, I know this one. This is XXE. Yep. Okay. Okay. I've done these so often. I know when I see check stock, I know it's XXE. So let's get some payloads. There we go. Let's test some basic injection. Okay, we'll do this one. Because obviously we don't know necessarily what we can access. We can access that file, which means we solved it. Okay, let's do another one. I did just do a talk on XXE where I demoed that exact lab. Is CSRF still risky if it requires old password in change password form? Right, yeah, so it is, it's not risky like that. So a CSRF, to mitigate a CSRF the old way, you need an anti-request forgery token, which effectively is a token that isn't necessarily impossible for a user, an attacker to guess, but is infeasible. Obviously, if the attacker knows the current password of the user, CSRF just becomes pointless because you could just log in. And once you're logged into their account, you can do anything anyway. So there's no such thing as cross-site request forgery against a change password function that requires the user's old password or current password. Technically, there is, like, at a technical level, you could say, yeah, that's vulnerable to CSRF, but at a practical level, it's pointless, because if you need to know the user's password, then you don't need CSRF for anything, because the point of CSRF is to get the user to make a request by effectively tricking their browser to do it for you. If you have their password, you could just log in and do the request yourself. So yeah, it's not risky in that sense. Alright, this has an exploit server. This should be interesting. Where's the talk? It was a small security conference, so it wasn't actually recorded. Although actually, no, it might have been on foot pics for sale. I'm pretty sure it's on hers as one of the videos. Okay, what have we got here? Let's go to the exploit server. So this is going to be another business logic error with the account recovery. Let's see what's in this token, if it's anything useful. No, it's not base 64 encoded. Is it linked to anything in particular? Um. So we have the ability to update our email here. What happens if we do Carlos? And then we log out. And then submit for Carlos. I think that was the old one. Password. You still need your token then for resetting his password? Yeah, so well, I mean the problem is the reset token I think only works for my account. So it only works for the Wiener account. What does this lab thing do though? I feel like this is hang on. Also I don't know. There's something about this process that doesn't work. Let's try an invalid password. I wonder what happens if we do this. Okay, log in. Oh, hang on a minute. This might be... because we have an exploit server. Right, so we may have to log in as Wiener. Sorry, it's Wiener and password now. Alright, let's just do that. Is this vulnerable to... If I take this... No, it's still vulnerable to cross-site request forgery, which means we cannot just do that. Is there anything on this page at all? Let's just try and see if there's any. Sure, that one. Well, I don't think there's any valid CSRF. And this doesn't seem to have any... there doesn't seem to be any XSS there, unless it's in the... Yes, yeah, CSRFs are still okay-ish. Jeez. Alright, you need this. Alright, there's no XXS. Oh, hang on a minute. What happens if I log in as Wiener Peter? Oops. Wiener password. Change my email to probably his. And then if I do the forget password with not the username, but instead the email address. Okay. Is this the right one? Yeah. Nope. Password 1. I should just change it back to Peter. And then this is definitely this one isn't very obvious at all. We can't deliver anything to the victim, so we can't force them to do anything. Which means it's likely all just to be based on this email. However, as to oh, hang on, what's this? Oh no, that's not it. Okay, never mind. There's some business logic flaw here that I'm just not seeing. The email update looks fine. Oh, hang on. Can we? Oh no, we can't change our username. I was going to say if we could change our username to the Carlos email, that would be good, but we cannot. Chat, have any suggestions? Because I don't. Business logic errors are so weird as well. Let's go. Oh, hang on. Can we just do Carlos? No. Take the reset token from Wiener and repeat it with burp when resetting Wiener's password. I went to university, but most of this is self-taught. Take the reset token from Wiener and repeat it with burp when resetting Wiener's. I don't think there is a reset password when you... Like, let's see, let's just double check. Let's turn on... Let's promptly unhide hidden fields. This is just the CSRF token though. So let's go, okay, so you, like, we get the token reset through here, right? So that's the reset token from Wiener. Repeat it with burp when resetting Wiener's password. So I'm not entirely sure what you mean, Moxdroid. Like, where do we repeat it? So I use it there to reset Wiener's password, which we... How are we logged in? And then you mean do it again, but invalid. So the token becomes invalidated as soon as you use it. Unless we just do Carlos. And then do this. No, invalid token. I'm gonna throw in the towel here. This one seems like it's weird. The user calls will see, this is why this can really mess you over. This was actually a host header attack. The user calls will carelessly click on any links and emails he receives. So now that we know it's a host header attack, do we just do... Hang on. So can we just change the host header of this request to this? What am I doing here? Okay. Access log. There it is. That was it. We got it with a slight hint on the type of... Alright, so if this works, I'll explain what we did. Yep. Okay, so even though this looked like it was a business logic thing, it was actually a host header. So when we go to the forgot password thing and submit Carlos, it sends this forgot password request, right? It then sends an email to Carlos with a link. But the way it builds the link is it takes the host, like the URL, it builds it using this host header, which is really dumb. So what we have to do is resend this request and change the host header. And if we change it to our exploit server, so if we copy our exploit server, then the link to reset the password, actually I'll tell you what, we'll do it with our own account to show you. So actually let's do Wiener here, and let's just do Tiberius.com. Okay, and then if we go back to the email client, you see how the link to reset the password now has Tiberius.com in it. Okay, so we have access to an exploit server where we can view logs, right? Access logs here. So if I now just copy the exploit server URL, just the host, right, and put it back into this request, and then change the username to Carlos, an email is going to be sent to Carlos, just like the Tiberius one, except it's going to have our exploit server on it. And it's also going to have that reset code. And he's going to click it, and if we see the last request was this post request here, if I refresh this page, here it is. So Carlos clicked the link, and we got this reset code. And then we can just take it over here and paste it, and we can use it to reset Carlos's password. Right, so let's just reset it to Tiberius. Submit. And then if we go to my account, Carlos, Tiberius, and log in, we're logged in. Does that make sense? I'm glad we didn't have to look at the solution. No, you weren't overthinking it. This is the problem with... The only problem with this Mystery Lab challenge is, like, it could be any of these. And I've done these labs enough that it totally looked like a business logic vulnerability. Because let's put it this way, I've seen a lot of those password reset things be business logic vulnerabilities. I wasn't actually aware there was a host header attack. So it didn't even cross my mind, but cool. Alright, well, appreciate everyone stopping by. Let's find someone to raid. Alright. There's Security Weekly and BreakSec. Does anyone know if they're doing anything interesting? Let's check out BreakSec a minute. Looks like he's doing Hack the Box. And Security Weekly is doing news, I think. Alright, we'll do BreakSec. Let me put the stream ending stuff up. So there's my socials on the screen right there. Please follow me on Twitter. Please join our Discord server. I have a YouTube channel where I eventually upload the recordings of these. And if you're watching me on Twitch live, please consider giving me a follow. If you are watching me on YouTube, please head over to Twitch and give me a follow as well. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We will raid BreakSec now. Alright everyone, thanks for stopping by.